Saskatchewan Police Service looking to be more proactive. The chief sets his sights on building better relationship with other forces. More calls for action, what a Saskatchewan group wants to see with hospital security. And on a winning streak, what's fueling the Huskies women's basketball team to repeated victory.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. After hours of deliberation, a Saskatoon jury has reached a verdict in a murder trial. CTV's Laura Woodward has the decision from Court of King's Bench.
A 12-person jury has found 23-year-old Caitlin Desjardins Kelly not guilty of second-degree murder, but guilty of the lesser offense of manslaughter. The verdict came in after about 14 hours of deliberation. Desjardins Kelly was charged in the death of 48-year-old Arden Panapakisik, who died on February 10, 2024, inside his home on Avenue K North. The defense argued Desjardins Kelly acted in self-defense when he fired the gun. Meanwhile, the Crown maintained he pulled the trigger with the intent to kill. The next step in the case is sentencing to be scheduled at a later date. Manslaughter carries a maximum penalty of life in prison and a mandatory minimum of 4 years when a gun is involved. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Two Saskatoon youth are facing charges after what RCMP call violent extremism was posted online. RCMP say on Tuesday they began their investigation with the help of Saskatoon police. They received a report that an online account was sharing content associated with violent extremism. Two 14-year-olds were arrested yesterday and are now charged with uttering threats. Both are being held at a youth correctional facility and are scheduled to be in provincial court on Tuesday. Saskatchewan RCMP have charged a 26-year-old man after an online harassment investigation. Prince Albert RCMP received a report about social media harassment on January 14th. Through their investigation, RCMP in Regina arrested 26-year-old Davis Keepness from Key First Nation. His charges include criminal harassment, committing an indecent act, and failing to comply with a probation order. He's scheduled to appear in Regina Provincial Court on Tuesday. Prince Albert RCMP are learning more about a suspicious death in the south end of the city. On February 9th, RCMP say a person was found dead in the trunk of a vehicle that had burned at a property on 41st Street East. Investigation determined the truck, which had been reported stuck in a field, was previously stolen. The truck was towed to the business on 41st Street, where on February 7th, a fire was reported at the same business. Police have identified the individual as 39-year-old Stacey Badger from the Mistawassis First Nation. If you witness suspicious activity in the area of 41st Street East between the evening of February 6th and the morning of February 7th, you are asked to contact police. The jury in an inquest into the death of an inmate at Saskatchewan Penitentiary has made 5 recommendations. Brandon Lupkowski was found unresponsive in a cell in November of 2022. The jury is suggesting adjusting policy so that correctional officers must see a living, breathing inmate during a check. They say correctional officers should also be required to carry 2 pairs of medical gloves in their duty kit, and an AED should be part of an emergency response kit. They also recommended that healthcare workers receive scenario-based trauma training when hired and never allow cell doors to be covered or obstructed. Lukowski was found unresponsive behind a blanket covering his cell door. Physical and video evidence suggests his injuries were self-inflicted. Hospital security is again at the forefront among Indigenous leaders in our province. Earlier today, the Prince Albert Grand Council gathered with city and provincial officials in hopes of finding ways to make improvements. Jasmine Pelche with the story.
Recent hospital incidents, including a video of a man lying in the snow outside the Victoria Hospital that was shared widely on social media, have led Prince Albert Grand Council to take action.
We know about the challenges that are out there, and we kindly ask, the security companies to respect our people, our Indigenous women and men that are out there that are struggling with addictions.
Prince Albert Grand Council hosted a meeting Friday with community leaders to discuss ways to deal with security incidents. The investigations into some incidents is ongoing.
We didn't want to wait till the investigation is done. We can do things. We don't, of course, don't talk about the investigation itself. So we went ahead and they initiated this meeting. To have this meeting because I guess I'm tired of getting the videotapes.
In attendance were representatives from the Municipal Police, Fire Department, the City of Prince Albert, the SHA, and local security companies, along with Indigenous leaders. Lion Security was not involved in the recent incident at Victoria Hospital, but the CEO says this meeting has given him some ideas for staff training.
When you are dealing with the homeless people, they want to get under your skin. Know that you're not dealing with that individual, you are dealing with the addiction.
He says that understanding the cultural perspective of security interactions will be a focus for the company. The goal of the meeting was to re-examine policy for security companies and to find short-term goals that can be accomplished in the next few months that will lead towards heightened cultural sensitivity. The Grand Council will host additional meetings in the near future. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
2 men in Saskatoon face more than 20 charges after a trafficking investigation. Police arrested a 22-year-old man yesterday afternoon on Albert Avenue who was in possession of fentanyl. Then a 20-year-old man was arrested on Tate Court a short time later. Search warrants at 4 homes seized this: fentanyl, meth, cocaine, GHB, cash, trafficking equipment, and forged driver's licenses. Charges include trafficking and possession of a controlled substance. No one was injured when a car slammed into a home in the Pacific Heights neighborhood of Saskatoon earlier today. This was the scene in the 300 block of Mowat Crescent just before noon. The car slipping onto its side. The impact of the collision causing significant damage to both the car and the house. Police say the driver of the vehicle suffered a medical incident. Neither he nor anyone at the home was injured. Charges are not being laid. Well, Jeff, we've got another couple of melty days ahead.
We do. Melty tomorrow in particular. We thought it might be a little warmer today. It was still warm today by February standards, Chantel. But tomorrow will be significantly warmer. And then we start to get into a bit of a slow transition. Then, boom, a big transition on Monday. And then things really start to cool off. But we'll talk about the cold conditions that are on their way. But it won't be nasty cold. It's be cold. All right. Details when we come back.
The Corman Park Police Service is rolling out a series of changes under new leadership. The focus is on improving efficiency and strengthening collaboration with other police agencies. Stacey Hine with that story.
On the road and behind the scenes, change is in motion at the Corman Park Police Service. Chief Robert Duchin, who took the role in early December, says the focus is on improving efficiency and strengthening partnerships with other policing agencies.
We're going to look for where there are opportunities in collaboration with other police agencies like our RCMP partners and the Saskatchewan Marshals.
It's happening as police services across the province face growing demands.
Number one reality is that all of the agencies that are policing now are being asked to do more with less resources.
But policing one of Saskatchewan's largest and most populous rural municipalities comes with its own unique challenges.
The geographical expanse that's being covered by both RCMP detachments with the limited number of members they have and the geographical expanse of our region in the RM of Corman Park is incredibly large.
Duchin says meeting those challenges means handling every call with efficiency in mind. He says the service is also looking to ease RCMP's administrative load through collaboration. Beyond operations, there's also a change in appearance, a new heraldic emblem featuring the updated Canadian crown.
This seemed like a natural way for us to modernize our organizational appearance and to make us look more like traditional Canadian police.
Officers will begin wearing the new emblem immediately. All police vehicles are expected to feature the updated branding within 5 years, as the fleet is gradually replaced. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Canada's military police watchdog is criticizing how a sexual assault complaint was handled at CFB Moose Jaw. The Military Police Complaints Commission says the 2021 investigation was inadequate, rushed, and affected by tunnel vision, leading to Major Christian Highstand's arrest. Wayne Mantika with the story.
The Military Police Complaints Commission has now completed a review of how a sexual assault case was handled in Moose Jaw and has made several recommendations. It was 4 years ago that Major Christian Highstand took his own life, weeks after military police laid sexual assault charges against him. His family alleged that military police made mistakes in their investigation, which lasted a week before the charges were laid. They filed complaints with the Independent Military Police Complaints Commission, which has found that the military police investigation was inadequate, rushed, and affected by tunnel vision in the form of confirmation bias. That conclusion comes after a Canadian Forces internal investigation cleared military police of wrongdoing. The Military Police Complaints Commission says the investigation also lacked supervisory oversight, failed to probe critical issues such as consent, and failed to pursue critical witness interviews. The commission has made several recommendations to improve investigative practices. The Canadian military is not bound by commission recommendations and neither accepts nor rejects them. It notes, however, that several new operating procedures have been implemented within the military police group, and other changes could be considered where applicable. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The University of Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team capped off their regular season with a perfect record. But as Keenan Sorokon tells us, they enter the playoffs looking to be back national champions.
A lot has changed in the world since November 2nd, 2024. Donald Trump became president of the United States. The postal strike affecting mail delivery for months didn't happen until nearly a year later, and Pope Leo XIV was still a cardinal. But one thing that hasn't happened since November 2nd, 2024 is the University of Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team losing a game.
Just crazy to think of. Kind of snuck up on us, actually. It's not something that you really think about as the season's going on.
The Huskies have won 50 games in a row, which has them in the playoffs this weekend after a historic 20-0 regular season as the defending Canada West and national champions.
Next thing you know, over the course of a year and a half or almost 2 seasons, we're at 50 games. So, like I said, the team's super veteran. We want to win every game we play, and so here we are.
The last undefeated team to win the conference is the Simon Fraser Red Leafs, who won in 2005. And despite nearly forgetting what it's like to lose, these dogs are hungry to get their paws on another trophy.
When it's more than basketball to us, when it's a lifestyle, when it's friends, family you get to surround yourself with, I think that's just the secret.
The players credit Coach Elisa Tomaitis for getting the best out of each of them, knowing there's history on the line.
She's the best at what she does, so we're grateful, so grateful to be learning from her every week.
Entering the playoffs as the #1 seed in the country, like they have all year, means there's a target on their back, and they wouldn't have it any other way.
We know that we're going to get every team's best game, and everybody plays their best basketball against us, and so it definitely holds us to the highest standard.
The Huskies' playoff drive begins tomorrow at the Pack. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, another development on the tariff front. What rules are changing possibly now? Also, how Tumbler Ridge is pulling together to support one another. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Prime Minister Mark Carney, the leaders of the federal opposition, and Governor General Mary Simon have traveled together to be with the people of Tumbler Ridge tonight. It comes as the community is trying to cope. And as Kathy Lee shows us, many are doing what they can to support each other.
Despite the devastation, there is compassion and care from everyone I've spoken to. It's a testament to how close everyone is in Tumbler Ridge.
Amber Bell's love language is cooking. In the depths of profound grief, she is still making sure her community is fed.
My daughter and my husband and I went around to every single house last night and brought food.
The nourishment for those navigating a nightmare after 8 people, mostly children, were shot at the secondary school and this home in Tumbler Ridge. Bell's 2 children were in class at that time. They are safe, but her heart aches for the young ones that didn't make it out, all of whom she knew personally.
They were all so amazing in their own right, but for us personally, the loss of Kylie is devastating. She was a part part of our family too. We've known her whole life.
But even in her despair, the mother is buoyed by the support.
I feel the support. I can feel the love of the country, community.
In a community where everyone knows each other by name, the love is felt at every corner.
I've only been here 5 years, and I haven't lost that, but you know what? They're my kids too. They're my kids too.
This town has been through other difficult times, like a wildfire in the past, and they say they were resilient and overcame that, and will do the same this time by leaning on one another, as they always do. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Tumbler Ridge, BC.
The Tumbler Ridge shooting is hitting close to home for residents of Loche. It's been 10 years since the deadly school shooting in the village. CTV's Allison Bamford reports.
After hearing the news from Tumbler Ridge, many in Loche are reliving January 22nd, 2016, the day of the school shooting in the northern Dene community. The village marked 10 years since the tragedy last month. In some ways, Tumbler Ridge parallels the shootings in Loche that took place at both a private house and the local school. The 17-year-old shooter killed his two cousins at their family home before making his way to the Dene High School, there killing a teacher and teacher's assistant while injuring 7 others. In the weeks, months, and years following, the Northern Lights School Division, which oversees Loche, says the school needed to address mental health and security concerns. Up until this year, the high school closed its doors on every anniversary of the shooting to support those still healing. A decade later, they've decided the school will remain open for a day of service.
Definitely an ongoing journey of healing that took, many years, and still, and there'll still be years to come.
The Northern Lights School Division has already reached out to the BC School District, offering support where it can, knowing the challenges that Tumbler Ridge will face in the aftermath of this tragedy.
The growing affordability crisis in the U.S. ahead of November's midterm elections might offer Canada some relief from crushing American tariffs. U.S. media is reporting President Trump may scale back tariffs on steel and aluminum. And when asked today by CNBC, his Treasury Secretary said we'll see. But as Joy Malbin reports, that may just be wishful thinking.
Every chance he gets, the U.S. president trumpets his tariffs.
The economy is doing unbelievable. We right now have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
But he's battling the cost of living crisis in America and low approval ratings before the midterm elections. The Financial Times reporting the Trump administration may be having a rethink about those steep steel and aluminum tariffs that could affect Canada.
I don't think it's great reporting that we saw today. If anything is done, I think it would be sort of clarification on some incidental objects. But again, that's going to be the president's decision.
Canadian metals were slapped with a 50% tariff early this year, justified as a national security crisis. Canada retaliated, but this tit-for-tat tariff blitz has led to higher costs for consumers, paying more for groceries, electronics, cans, and cars. The American Nonpartisan Tax Foundation reports that tariffs will cost the average U.S. household $1,300 more in 2026.
There's definitely pressure because it is hitting different markets, and we're seeing that in the auto sector as well. Like Ford's earnings last week were dismal. So it's a situation where tariffs don't always work.
Even if the president is considering rolling back tariffs on steel and aluminum, here's what he posted just 2 days ago. Canada has taken advantage of the United States on trade for many years. They are among the worst in the world to deal with.
U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said there likely won't be a rollback of the tariffs, more of a clarification or possible exemption on certain items like refrigerators and washers. But then again, it's the president's call. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
The federal Liberals have been pushed further away from forming a majority government. They now need 4 seats after losing one today when the Supreme Court invalidated a result from April's general election. The court nullified the Liberal candidate's 1-vote victory in Terrebonne riding near Montreal. The Bloc Québécois candidate had challenged the election results after one of her supporters said she had tried to vote by mail using a special ballot, but the voter says it was never counted because it was returned to her. And that was due to a mistake in the postal code on a label supplied by Elections Canada. The judge calls it a routine clerical error. The seat is now vacant and a by-election will be required.
Entertain you at Saskatoon Summer Players Building Broadway Musical Cabaret.
Our city is filled with talent and creativity, and this show shines a spotlight on it all.
Big musical numbers and a few surprises thrown in. There's something for everyone.
The show runs February 20th to 22nd at the Refinery. Get your tickets at ontheboards.ca.
Now tell us, Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Nice work, team. And yes, the weather is going to be a little on the cool side compared to where we are now. But let's zoom ahead to next Friday, opening night for Building Broadway. Once again, you can go to ontheboards.ca to get those tickets. Minus 16 for a daytime high, so it's about 8 degrees below seasonal. Mainly cloudy skies. And once again, opening night, not February 15th, February the 20th. It's 1 week from today. So now let's take a look at some numbers together. We're going to start off with -2 for Saskatoon, 3 on the plus side in Prince Albert right now, 0 in the Battleford, so an interesting mix of temperatures, but still mild for everybody and not particularly windy at all. The almanac for Saskatoon, as you can see, -1 for a daytime high, about 7 degrees below seasonal, seasonal being -8 degrees. The record warm temperature from 102 years ago, that was 7 degrees, and it still stands. The record cold temperature, once again, from the year 1936, -41 on this date. And 8:26 is when the sun came up, and it went down at 6:17.
Coming up, Jeff is back with a look at what will have people on track this weekend. And later, the secret to a match made in heaven and lived out for decades on Earth.
Monster trucks are coming back to Saskatchewan Tuesday on your morning. They'll tell us why. They'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge, edge, edge. Have a great weekend.
All right. The Love Boat. Yeah, who doesn't want to hear The Love Boat sung by me? Oh, I see Chantel is waving her hands for more of that. Yeah, anyhow. Look at the sky. It's not dark at all. It's like we have some ambient light on the sky, on the horizon, but it's another mild day, another pretty nice evening shaping up, and it looks like tomorrow and even Sunday is still going to be quite nice as we roll into the weekend. So let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. Going to keep our eye on some of this moisture that's impacting parts of Vancouver and the Pacific Northwest of the United States, but that warm Pacific air, once the moisture gets scrubbed out, is still coming our way. But Arctic air is starting to move southward, it's going to seep southward, and we are really going to feel the effects of that midweek. But until then, let's just embrace what's going on outside. -2 degrees right now in Saskatoon, just to recap. 3 for Prince Albert and 0 in the Battlefords. On to our hot and cold spot. That was Coronach. Yes, not Maple Creek, but Coronach at 10 degrees. Nippo in the cold spot at -15. Around the province, we take a look at the larger communities. It's 1 degree right now in Lloydminster and Regina, 0 in Swift Current, -6 in Yorkton, 3 on the plus side in Estevan. Into central parts of the province and the northern Grain Belt, not much of a temperature range here. Temperatures, well, that's 7 degrees, from 3 degrees in Waskesiu down to -4 in Watrous. A number of communities hanging around the 0 degree mark, just slightly higher or slightly lower. Up north, another mild day. My goodness, it's the evening hours, and we have a triple hit of the number 2 at Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge, and Sandy Bay, Island Falls. It's 1 in South End, -6 in Collins Bay, and only -11 in Stony Rapids. Down south, a lot lot of locations on the plus side of the thermometer. A couple at 0 degrees. That's Elbow and Indian Head. -4 in Last Mountain. -6 in Melville. But other than that, quite mild temperatures in Cornac, still sitting on the warm side of seasonal by a long shot at 5 degrees. Well, here we go with our futurecast, and the computer modeling indicating not much in the way of wind. And you see a couple of areas of snow, or it could be a rain-snow mix, popping up down in southern Saskatchewan. There's a little bit of a disturbance that sneaks into parts of areas north of Prince Albert, but it isn't very large, and it's not going to impact things in any kind of significant way. -1 in La Ronge, -7 in Stony Rapids, 0 in Buffalo Narrows, -3 in Key Lake under cloudy skies. Cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions in west central Saskatchewan. But look at these numbers. 1 in Meadow Lake, 2 in Spirit Woods, 6 in Kindersley, 4 in Rosetown, and it is going to be warm in the southwest. 11 degrees in Maple Creek, 7 in Leader, 8 in Swift Current, 4 in Outlook. On to the southeast, 2 degrees in Regina, 6 in Moose Jaw, 4 in Estevan, -1 in Yorkton. And into east central Saskatchewan, temperatures hovering around the 0-degree mark. Watrous, one of those places that might see a little bit of flurry activity. For the Battlefords, dropping down to -8 tonight, but a +2 temperature tomorrow, so about 10 degrees above seasonal. And then -1 on Sunday, -11 on Monday. And yes, that is below seasonal, but then a downward trend temperature-wise. We head towards -17 1 week from today. A chance of flurries on both Tuesday and Wednesday for the Battlefords. Prince Albert's overnight temperature expected to drop down to -14 degrees, -1 tomorrow under cloudy skies. And then on Sunday, -2 degrees. Holiday Monday, -13, yeah, a bit chilly. And then temperatures hovering around that -16-degree mark until next Friday. And we have a chance of flurries on Tuesday and Wednesday. And finally for Saskatoon, an overnight temperature of -10 degrees with increasing clouds. And then winds, not really a big deal, and they shift around ever so slightly. 3 degrees tomorrow for a daytime high, so about 11 degrees above seasonal. So if there's stuff you got to do outside, tomorrow's a good day to do it because it should be pretty nice. And 1 degree on Sunday, -11 on Monday and Tuesday, -13 on Wednesday, and then -16 on Thursday and Friday. Chance of flurries on Tuesday and Wednesday. Award-winning Canadian singer-songwriter Jan Arden is set to play this spring at the Dakota Dunes Casino. Jan Arden Live will take to the stage May 8th. General ticket sales go on sale next Friday.
Heathcliff is gone. You must accept it.
Movie theaters are preparing for the first big weekend of the year, with one major studio release expected to capture the most hearts. Just in time for Valentine's Day, Warner Brothers is out with a new take on Wuthering Heights, starring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. Deadline reports it's expected to bring in more than $40 million U.S. across North America over the long weekend. Animated basketball movie GOAT is shooting for second with $20 million, while the heist film Crime 101 is forecast to be next with a $15 million in ticket sales.
Mr. Scout, I know you're still weighing whether to return to me.
Apple TV is reportedly taking a more active role in the production of the next season of Severance. The sci-fi mystery series tells the story of a group of people who undergo a procedure to completely separate their work and personal lives. Season 2 of Severance debuted in January 2025, and it was soon confirmed a third season was on the way. Deadline reports Apple's streaming service has now acquired all the rights to the show from the studio that's produced it up until now, citing sources who say the move came in response to rising costs and potential plans for expanding the franchise. Oh, can anyone say Lumen, the musical?
I'd watch that.
Well, there you go.
I would.
Hey, what do you do in this office?
Oh, unless you're starring in it.
Oh, thanks.
Just kidding.
Thanks a lot.
All right, moving along. It'll be all on board in Saskatoon this weekend, I hear.
Absolutely. We're laying down tracks and we're heading over to Prairieland Park. That's right. It's time for the all-aboard model train show right here at Prairieland Park. The show organizer with us today, Craig Mikitician. And Craig, this is the third year you've been at Prairieland?
Yes, it is. We've moved over from the Western Development Museum, and now that we're at Prairieland, we can have a bigger and better show. So this year we have the most displays we've ever had, and we also have the most vendors and salespeople we've ever had.
Okay, so lots to choose from. And on top of all the things that are train-oriented, not to say it isn't train-oriented, but I know you have more than one Lego participant.
Yeah, we have 3 Lego displays this year. They are large and quite impressive.
Quite impressive indeed. And of course, the show itself gets underway tomorrow and Sunday, both days?
Yes, that's correct. Saturday we're open from 9 to 5 and Sunday we're open from 9 to 4:30.
So there's lots of things going on here. You can talk to the people who are the people who get in behind these displays and how they built them and things like that. And I tell you, this particular hobby has taken you, I'll say, all over North America. You personally.
That's correct. Been down to the States to quite a few shows and all over Western Canada participating in shows as well.
So a great family endeavor. It's something you can do for your entire life. You can come down here to check out the All Aboard Model Train Show and talk to some of the people who have enjoyed the hobby. For people who want more information on the show itself, can they go to Facebook?
Yeah, All Aboard Model Train Show is our Facebook page and all the information is on there.
All right. Do you want to make any train noises?
Woo!
All right, Jeff, I understand we have a bonus pick in Pick of the Day.
We do. So let's get down to business. Let's start off with this picture. I love this one. This one comes to us from Connie, and she writes, "Look, Grandma, no mitts." Oh. Enjoying a sleigh ride on a beautiful Saskatchewan February day at Leask, and those kids look like they are having a lovely time. That almost looks, seriously, that is such a perfect picture. It looks almost like it's Hollywood. So
looks like a card for next year.
Yes, a good idea there. So thank you, Connie, for that. Our next one comes to us from Sherry, and it was a special day at Wilkie McClurg High School. I think this is a tradition. I think we've seen this picture last year, which is great. I'm glad they sent it in again. The tree was decorated by Sherry Elder, the librarian, so a lovely Valentine's Day tree spreading goodness and love. And next one comes to us from, this is from Merritt, and this is wishing our parents a happy 25th anniversary. Merritt and Merrick, your loving sons. So a lovely greeting there for the 25th anniversary couple. And finally, to wrap things up, look at that. Yes, it's I'd like to submit, this is from Alicia, I'd like to submit our little Pomeranian Kodiak Bear Buckley Sanders. He was fresh from the groomers and ready for Valentine's Day. He certainly was. Well, that's a great shot. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. And please, I'm begging you, put Pick of the Day in the subject line. Begging.
Still to come on CTV News, happily ever after. We meet a couple still in love decades after they've tied the knot. The couple in this next story is proof love doesn't just last, it grows stronger with time. After 65 years of marriage, they're sharing a little bit about how they have made it work for so long. Nick Fable has their story.
On June 17, 1961, Dawn and Berva Pierce said, "I do" at the Broadway United Church. 65 years later, after many twists and turns, the two are still happily married, sticking side by side. When they met, their love got off to a quick start, with Dawn proposing to Berva after 2 months of being together.
I just thought, we're getting along so good and everything, and surely she'll marry me.
They would officially marry 2 years later after Berva finished her nursing training and Dawn nearly completed their home. It is here that they would stay for the next 40 years, raising a family and working outside. At the beginning, the idea of being together for decades upon decades was not much of a thought.
I was hoping for a long marriage, but, never dreamt it'd be that long.
When my mom and dad celebrated their 25th anniversary, I figured they're completely over the hill.
According to a 2024 report by Bonnier Institute of the Family, divorce rates have been dropping in Canada since the early 1990s. The report also says couples are marrying later in life, all positives pointing to marriages which could possibly stand the test of time. For those thinking of tying the knot, Pierce says that there should be some hope the union will last far into the future.
Well, I think they should go into the marriage figuring that it's going to last. I think so many kind of think, oh, well, if things don't go my way, I'll exit.
Over the years, Dawn has dealt with various health issues, battles that they have fought together. With Valentine's Day approaching, it is another opportunity to celebrate the life that they have built together.
I feel very blessed to still have Dawn in my life, all the things that he's gone through. So, very blessed. And we get along pretty darn good.
No, I have to win a few arguments.
This Valentine's Day will be a quiet one at Queen Victoria Estates. They plan on saying they love each other and hope that they have many more years to come, proving that their love grows sweeter with time. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, the latest on Mark McMorris's condition. Will the Saskatchewan athlete be able to compete again? And later, we meet a group of boys learning the importance of wearing braids.
Okay, let's take a look at tomorrow's Valentine's Day forecast. We've got ourselves some warm conditions. Not too bad at all if you plan to be out and about. And look at that. 1 degree for Meadow Lake and Lloydminster, 2 in Spiritwood, 5 in Kindersley, 4 in Outlook. Watchers might see a bit of a flurry, but that is not going to be a day-long affair, not at all. And then 1 degree for Hudson Bay and Wynyard, and 0 up in Melfort. So yes, mild conditions, and those mild conditions are even more mild in much of southern Saskatchewan. 11 degrees for Maple Creek, 8 in Coronach, many locations at 7 degrees. And even as we make our way towards the eastern side of the province, where things tend to cool off a little bit, Broadview at 2 degrees, the same for Carlisle, -2 for Kenora. So not bad at all. 2 degrees for Big River tomorrow. And I checked with the organizers of the snowmobile rally. It is going on tomorrow as planned. So once again, there's a pancake breakfast to start off the day, and then we have registration, I believe between 9 and noon for the big snowmobile rally up there in Big River. And 2 degrees tomorrow for a daytime high. Mainly cloudy skies, winds out of the northwest at 10, and Big Rivers, of course, where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
An interesting signing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, picking up a former NFL running back.
The 50 since the first half against the Niners. It's Henderson again. He's got another big run.
1st and 10.
Oh, they're going to bring him down?
Darrell Henderson Jr. played 5 seasons with the LA Rams, winning a Super Bowl in 2022. The 28-year-old scored 19 touchdowns in the NFL and was competing with Kieran Williams at one point to be the starter, but hasn't played since 2023. He joins a running back room that sees the return of A.J. Ouellette, Thomas Bertrand Hudon, and Mario Anderson Jr. The Canadian men's hockey team was back on the ice after an opening round win against Czechia. Today, Canada beat Switzerland 5-1. Here is Scott Hurst with a look at how the rest of Team Canada fared nearing the end of Week 1.
Courtney Saroux proudly displays both her medals from Milano Cortina.
I feel so grateful. It feels unbelievable.
The 25-year-old from Moncton, New Brunswick, is Canada's first double medalist at these Olympic Games. She won silver earlier in the week alongside her teammates in the mixed relay event and bronze in the women's short track 500-meter.
I didn't want to leave the ice with any regrets, so I just went for it and gave everything, and it got me some extra bling.
And she has a shot at even more medals to come in the Olympic competition. Staying on the ice, a busy day for the men's curling team led by Brad Jacobs. They are the oldest group in the men's curling competition and used every bit of age and experience in a 6-3 win over the Americans, who are the youngest squad in the competition. Team Canada also beat Sweden today. The Canadian rink is now 3-0. On the women's side, a stunning upset for the top-ranked Canadians. Rachel Homan's squad lost to the Americans 9-8. With the loss, Team Canada is now 1-1 in the preliminary round. Their next game is tomorrow against Great Britain. Mark McMorris has been cleared for competition after a nasty crash that kept him out of the Big Air event last weekend. The 3-time defending Olympic bronze medalist in men's snowboard slopestyle will now get a chance at another podium. Slopestyle qualification begins on Monday. The women's hockey team is back in action on Saturday, now into the knockout round. The reigning Olympic champions will play Germany in the quarterfinals. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And there is some possible good news going into the women's hockey quarterfinal tomorrow. Marie-Philippe Poulin might play after suffering a lower body injury while being checked during a game earlier in the tournament. The Canadian captain returned to practice today after missing the final 2 preliminary round games. She skated on her own yesterday. The high price of gold helped push up revenue for one of Canada's top gold mining companies. Morella Fernandez with that.
Agnico Eagle Mines is now the world's second largest gold producer, moving past Barrick Mining. Agnico Eagle mined about 3.5 million ounces of gold last year. Barrick produced under 3.3 million ounces in 2025. Both have benefited from the skyrocketing price of gold. Agnico sold gold in its latest quarter for over $4,100 US an ounce. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar did not do much. It ended the day at 73.43. West Texas Intermediate down a dime to 62.75. Western Canadian Select is down to 46.74. And the TSX rebounded today, gaining 608 points to get it back above 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up, the Cultural Connection teaching Indigenous youth. Then the team that's going the distance for a cause.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here at 7 with the CTV movie Recipe for Romance.
Recipe for Romance.
All right, well, a group of youth...
Full of love here.
Okay, moving on. A group of youth gathered today to connect with their culture and learn about the sacredness of boys wearing braids in Indigenous culture.
I wanted to cut my hair when I was younger. I was bullied in my school. They'd pull on my braid. They'd call me names. And I really wanted to cut my hair, but my mom and dad said, no, you'll want it. And it turns out I did want it when I was older.
Several guest speakers talked about the importance of braids in Indigenous culture at Bedford Road Collegiate as it hosted a Boys with Braids conference. Grade 8 boys from Westmount, Mayfair, Fairhaven, and Vincent Massey schools were all taught how to care for their hair. Today's event was also an opportunity to share cultural experiences and to empower the youth. Our own Daniel Shingoose, who is one of our talented ENG camera operators, was also one of the guest speakers sharing his experiences and knowledge. So he said it was a great day.
Fantastic.
He was happy to be part of it. All right, well, hockey players in Alberta are into the final stretch of what could become the world's longest hockey game. 40 players are on the ice in Sherwood Park. They've been playing since last Thursday.
What?
Yeah, looking for bragging rights, but the biggest goal is to raise $1 million for blood cancer treatment. Both teams have logged more than 11,000 shots on net so far. Organizers are matching each dollar donated up to $100,000 until the final buzzer, which will be not too soon. It'll be Monday at 6 p.m. So that is a long haul.
Oh, no kidding. And I don't know how many participants are sort of, doing this in shifts, but wow, regardless what the number is, that's very impressive.
You'd have to definitely take shifts. It's a total of 40, so.
Okay. That's a lot of ice time.
Yeah, it is.
Yikes.
But good for them. The weather looks decent out there, too.
Yeah, I think things obviously it's Edmonton, so they'll be cooling off a little earlier than it will be here. But the cold weather is definitely coming, but not so much tomorrow. Hey, look, it says love is in the air.
I see that. Yes.
Everywhere I look around.
Are you feeling okay today?
Not enough coffee. Anyhow, -7 degrees tomorrow at 9, -3 at noon, mid-afternoon around 3 degrees, and then 1 degree about 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So, yeah, the change is coming. So we've really got to make it
embrace tomorrow. Tomorrow's an embraceable day.
Yes. It's Valentine's Day.
That's what I hear.
I know you're really looking forward to it. We're going to leave you with some heartwarming images from one of our photographers, Chad Hills. I think he was playing with his drone earlier this week, so he left us with some stunning images. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great and safe weekend.
Take care.
Happy Valentine's Day.